back for another week.
We have so many contrasts in opening music themes now. We've got 3 different themes now. Very complex to be able to figure out how to have Dash dance during all of them appropriately. So very scary. Hi, Simon. Good morning for me. Good afternoon for you.
Another week. I'm streaming from a different location today, so this is going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we're just going to get straight into the introductions and get everyone on stage and crack on with the show.
Lots of people here. Yes.
Yeah.
For a change. Okay. So I'm virtual Scott today. So let me do this. Again, we have some rules, real simple rules. Be nice, be respectful, be constructive while you're interacting. You're interacting with other real people that have feelings and don't want to get them all hurt and all that stuff. So be good, be nice to everybody. Don't post anything if it's adult or rude or offensive. Don't advertise or promote anything. The only people that can promote things are people with their face on screen. If your face isn't on screen, you don't get to promote things. Don't spam. Do not post the same thing again and again in our chat rooms. It's just really annoying, and you've been seen already. You don't need to say it again. In particular, if you're posting questions and you post the same question again, you lose your place in line. I move you down, and you are now hearing an answer much later than you would have before. So don't post the same question twice. We see all. Do not harass anybody. Harassment of any kind not tolerated. We do have ban hammers. We do use them, but above all, have a good time. We're having a good time here presenting information week after week. And we hope that you all are enjoying your experiences with the Flutter community, with Flutter and Dart and all the technologies behind it, and hopefully with us. There we go.
Thank you. Let's do some brief, quick introductions. My name is Simon Lightfoot, Flutter community leader, CTO at DevVentures London, and you can find me on Twitter at DevVentures London and other social medias, same sort of handle. Scott's not with us today, but Randall, you're here. Do you want a brief introduction?
Yes, I am a 6-year Google developer expert in the area of Dart and Flutter from right at the beginning of the program. I've been playing with Dart for almost 10 years, so I've been probably one of the longest people that have been with Dart for all that time as well, because I discovered it very early on. And I'm also a full-time Dart and Flutter consultant to help you out with stuff commercially, but mostly what I'm spending my time doing as a Google developer expert is answering questions on the socials. So you'll see me on Discord and Stack Overflow and Slack and Reddit and every place that I can find Medium posts, every place I can find to help you all out with the questions you may have about Dart and Flutter. I've been doing that constantly for 6 years now, having a great time doing that. So I appreciate the opportunity to do all that. For this show, I am the question magician, which means that I am watching the live YouTube chat only. I know that we have another chat too, but I'm only really interacting with the YouTube chat people. So post your question there, put Q: in front of it. If you have a code snippet that you want us to see, very important, it needs to be made into a gist. Go to gist.new, gist.new. You have to have a GitHub account, but almost all of us do, right? And then post just the hex value at the end of the URL. Don't post the whole URL. We don't see those. So just the hex part at the end of the gist. That's the longest intro I've done ever. We'll move on.
Thanks very much, Randall. And we also have Danielle. Danielle.
Yeah, everybody. I'm Danielle Cox. I am the Flutter tech lead at a startup called Ardley. I'm also one of the organizers of the Flutteristas, which we're going to see a couple more of those coming up. So that's really cool. And, that's who I am. So let's bring on the next people. I might want to add that we're reviewing the proposals for FlutterCon US later today. And that's probably worth noting. So get ready for more announcements coming up soon. So,
more FlutterCon soon.
That's right.
John.
Hey, how's it going? I'm a developer and been in the Flutter space for, I don't know, a long time. Not as long as Randall, but and some others, but almost as long. I manage the Flutter community Medium and hang out in places like Randall and Discord and others, answering questions and building Flutter apps in my spare time as my day job is non-Flutter. That's about it.
It brings a tear to the eye. No, non-day job Flutter. Oh, no. Steph, welcome to the stage.
Hi, I'm Steph. I am a Flutterista co-manager, organizer like Danielle. I am in Oregon. Hi, Randall. And we are in the same city.
Yes.
Still have never met face to face.
I can't see you from here though. It's through over the West Hills.
I'm here with Dash, and she has she, they, he. I can't remember. Anyway, has the AI brain on today, so.
Oh wow, cool.
I taped it so it's not falling.
Yeah, I believe Dash is officially a she. Yes.
I thought so. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Last time
She can dance now.
I concur.
And we have an Ezra. Welcome, Ezra.
Hello. I'm Ezra. I'm also located in Berlin. I'm working as a senior Flutter developer. I'm one of the co-organizers of Flutter Berlin meetup, Flutteristas, and yeah, I'm also helping to shape what's coming next. Let's see, pretty excited for today and all of the announcements.
Cool.
And finally we have a new guest to the stage, Jhin Lee. Jhin, welcome to the stage.
Hello, nice to meet you all. Yeah, it's my first time in Humpday. I've been always in the audience list, and then it's my finally I'm here. Yeah, my name is Jhin. I am Flutter GDE as well, like Randall, but I'm only 1 year, not like 5 years. Randall, you said.
But, yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Korean, living in Canada, and yeah, that's what I am.
Well, so we decided to talk a bit about AI to begin with in the show, and then once we've kind of gone through a bit of AI stuff, we'll get on to the standard Q&A questions and then some live coding, and we'll finish up the stream. So it may end up being a little bit long one, and there's some people that are going to have to drop off after the first hour. So we're just going to get cracking, really. Make sure you get your questions in the chat with Q in front. Back up, there you go. So and then we'll get them loaded up. In the meantime, Steph, do you want to start things off with the AI?
Sure. So thank you for having the Flutter Community AI Circle team here again. Thank you. Just a heads up for everybody, we will be starting our own live stream. Right now, we're tentatively scheduled for Monday at the same time. Just watch the Flutter Community YouTube channel. We will be having our own stream. You've already probably been seeing Norbert.
Subscribe. You get notified.
Like, comment, subscribe. Yes, do that, please. And set up notifications so you know when stuff's going to be coming. Part of having it as separate is we'll be able to create a playlist so people will be able to go through. We know that there's a wide variety of people out there who have no AI experience or scared to death of it, don't know what to think, don't know any of that. Also worried it's going to take their jobs, or it's not, because it's not always right. So join us on our journey. We will have a website. We're still working on it. So keep listening and join the fun. And I'm going to hand it over to Ezra. She's got some terminology and various things she's going to share. And then we've got a little bit more chatting going on.
Do you want me to bring up the screen share?
I think it's already shared. Should be there. Let's check. Hello, everyone. I feel like I can be a great adapter in this conversation, and please, anyone, feel free to jump in, do it interactive. This will be like a little bit inspiration that I have because we were thinking about, okay, let's go for the terminology, and I just got a Need for Speed Lego lately, and I said, okay, let's use this Lego to get an inspiration and go and cover everyone who is also not having the AI background to understand what we are going through with the terminology. I used to work before Flutter with OCR and image understanding in Python. Now we are building AI-assisted apps. I feel like, let's see, directly try. I will keep a real-life metaphor with the Lego, as you see. Let's go. So when we talk about Lego, your first app is like your first Lego. Like you follow a guide, you snap things together, it works, but you are doing all the thinking yourself. We do the same in Flutter apps. We start with static parts, we make UI, we make APIs, databases, then you add a motor like a logic, then you add sensors like an input, and maybe a remote like a commands that we have, but still you are in charge of everything. But when we talk about AI coming here, it becomes like AI like Lego with superpowers. And then each AI term we're gonna throw around soon, it will be just like one more upgrade to the same kit, let's say. So we will directly use that words altogether. So when we go for LLM is called like a large language model. On the left side, you can see the full definition. And of course, we have the examples as OpenAI's GPT, Google's Gemini, Claude, or like all their, it uses machine learning to understand and generate human language. And if you are a non-developer background, we can actually even go for like, yeah, it's the motor in your Lego, turns your words into logic. So LM will be the brain. It's like a builder. It's just gonna have the instruction book and the Lego. But you can also make your own Lego. You can also make your own LLM. You can also go for that setup. So that's why people are training their own LLMs. They are making their own Lego sets with the instructions and so on. You can think like that. It is raw knowledge, raw language. Normally, like even in the first things, you don't even have a memory. You don't have node tools. You don't have node tools. It only reads your prompt and makes decision for you. That's it. Then you have RAG. When the brain of you forgets, then you bring RAG in. Then it becomes it starts to be able to say, okay, let me check the docs. In Lego terms, imagine like your robot can just pause and go to the instruction book, not relies on the memory only, but now it can actually search. And in Flutter, where we use is like, for example, you can use it in file-based vector search, a LangChain, or your AI will just go and say, okay, let me check FileStore for that. Let me check your file system. Let me check FileStore for that. Let me check my memory for that. It will just go to doc it has, and then gonna bring it up. It can go search LLM, and then brings you to the response. But when we have the MCP, then your tool starts to understand how to communicate. MCP is called Model Context Protocol, and we directly have a small visual that you can actually see things. We can think it like a plug that you can connect your tools, and it will let your components talk with each other. Like, it's gonna tell which tool, what to expect, how to handle a failure. You can maybe even think USB-C for AI. Like, it will actually just handle all of the communication. Because if you don't have the MCP, when you talk with AI, you'll say things like, okay, use the screwdriver to do this. And then your AI will be like, which one? Should I use a flathead? Should I use a Tox? Like what I should use? Like it will not understand what it needs to use there. And when we go for integrated editors, copy-paste kind of tools, then we will be also talking about different versions. In editor AI tools, we will talk about Cursor, GitHub Copilot, Gemini and VS Code. You can also call Gemini and Cursor right now as another model. I think Pro also allows you to use it for free, but you can pass API key, Windsurf, or you can also go for copy-paste, cut and paste models. Like, for example, ChatGPT does that right now. You can also use Gemini externally. You can also use other tools. When you go for copy-paste models, then it has a limited context, and it only knows the things that you put in the chat and whatever it trained before. But if you go for intercode editors, then you can specify files, you can connect with other MCP tools, then you can also get it more action done for you. So editor will be like code with your agent, cut and paste will be like back and forth with a chatbot, like let's say in a really simple form. And when we go for vibe coding, it is actually prompt-based development style that we have. Okay, we are using our natural language, like we say, I want to call natural looking home screen. Or here we go for like, okay, I want to make an app. I want to make a game like this. So it's totally a little different than traditional coding, like a system coding, because we go there like go for this is our widget, this is our state, this is tests needs to be done, like. But when we go for vibe coding, it is more creative, prompt based, and you just like describe by using normal language. We are making regular streams with Norbert is doing regular streams right now, and we are, as Steph mentioned, hope so we will host the next one in upcoming Monday. You can follow us to see what's going on next. And to mention the one very last term is Agentic Apps. And Agentic Apps, what we can think is app is acting, not just reacting what you do. It's a little bit proactive. When we go for Agentic Apps, then you're going to combine everything we just mentioned before, like bring and understand the goal. Tools and API can now start to act for that. Like when you have the agents, then it will take actions. And when you have RAG or memory, it will start to understand, okay, what was happening before, or can go do some stuff. It can think, it can plan what it's going to be done now. And when you have the MCP or function calling, then it will connect the actions and like finish it from end to end. What we can kind of expect from it is like the Agentic app will not wait for you to click to reschedule your meeting. It will reschedule your meeting, book a new one, send you a summary. Then it will be like built with function calling, of course, going to use memory, goals that we mentioned, for example, Flutter and Firebase Jenkins. If we're going to mention about those, then it will be there. These tools, like these Agentic apps, what they have is autonomy. It's gonna be able to work without human interaction, let's say, or it will be context aware for sure. It will be proactive because, for example, it can suggest the route for you based on traffic data before what happened. It can like create those things for you. It will have a little, it will have an intelligence, not even a little intelligence. It will do natural language processing, predictive analysis, and improve performance over time. And it will be interconnected. Like, for example, once you have a really good smart home setup, then you will be able to see also like how your smart home setup also matches with your digital personal assistants and so on. I think we are already getting some clues about that, but I can see some stuff in Google Calendar, mail updates. I can see some things coming with Apple Intelligence, and we will actually start to see even more of these, like the next launches. I'm really, really excited about where it is going. And that was like super short touch to this so that we know about what we are talking next. And of course, the circle is on right now. We will do more announcements. So FCAIC is a thing now. Like, thank
Let
you.
everyone back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Well done.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you
Cool.
so much.
We actually had some questions around this. Actually, come to chat. We could actually answer these as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just open these up to everyone. Can Flutter, powered by the strength of the LLMs, go beyond mere UI to support the development of more empathetic UX, cognitive, psychological, and behavioral?
I love this one. Totally, it should be. Totally, it should be. I love
Maybe.
that.
Do you know what, honestly, when I read this, it just reminds me of like the old sort of Microsoft little
Clippy.
agents that like start
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to them and stuff. Like,
Clippy.
Clippy, that's it, Clippy,
Yes.
and Bob
Clippy.
the dog, the
Yeah.
dog and stuff.
People cringe who've been back through there. Yes.
Mhm.
Clippy.
I mean,
I
to
love
be honest,
Clippy. It's
Yeah.
the only thing
Oh, yeah.
I miss from Windows.
we can make our version.
Yeah.
It worries me a little bit just that, do we have the right guardrails in place? Because I mean,
Yeah.
the LLM is kind of, sometimes the worst of us if you start heading down some of those paths. So
Yeah, there's definitely ability to do it. We're seeing it across, the big players building stuff like that. So you can do it, but yeah, like you said, there's a lot going on behind the scenes to keep it in its place and make sure it's not doing things that it shouldn't do.
It's interesting.
Definitely needs to be kept in its place.
just thinking about this, I mean, like we now say, like, I'll Google that, you know, like as in a synonym for search, if you will,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if we're actually going to have that, maybe that same kind of like AI becomes, or agent AI becomes so embedded in our culture that it becomes like the norm. That'd be interesting.
I feel like this can be an addition because this needs totally a different approach. Like I'm directly targeting the question here because empathetic UX needs way much more input than what we have in widgets. Like it is something that I have passion with. I can talk way much more on this, but for example, sometimes we make an app, but you use blue collar workers that are using really hand gloves and like hard conditions and so on. Then you see, yeah, my fancy animation is not maybe what they expected. Or, you know, they want a little bit larger buttons, or they want a little bit different call to actions. Or sometimes they expect you to like have experience like smart suggestion too, because they don't want to click more, or they don't want to be disturbed more. Or you can bring things like context location awareness to like pop up a trigger with a notification. Then you say, okay, I can track this one. I can start doing this one.
So I just imagine an agent popping up saying,
servers,
Anyway.
like
just imagine it's like an agent pops up when you walk to your favorite coffee. I see you've gone to your favorite coffee shop. Would you like to get a discount today?
yeah. Can you also get a coffee? The things that you can't do.
Jarvis, shut up. Yes, we have a couple more AI questions here. This one's going to be simple. Is there any way we can have on-device machine learning? Yes. TensorFlow has been around for a long time, but also Gemma runs on iPhones and Androids. It's designed to be small enough to run on device.
But what do we give up when we do that, though? That's the problem. I mean, they're just much smaller.
Mind.
The size of the size of our number of tokens, like it's going to necessarily be much smaller because, or it's going to be much slower.
Yeah.
You know,
Speed,
depending on what phone you got.
speed and space. Yeah.
I think you're gonna see a lot of that stuff is gonna be very specialized models. There'll be small models that are specialized for certain scenarios or
Right.
certain workloads that you'll have to then pick the right one for what you're trying to do.
You also have
there's
to
a
remember that
bunch.
what gets subtracted out is the round trip to a remote server. So
Yep.
you're doing it on device, which means you can probably get more interesting immediate responses for things that are quick to compute.
Sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, the other side of that is you can also do it offline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I think we discussed that a little bit last week, didn't we?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is a package called Flutter Gemma, which I know works.
Mhm.
It's some of the stuff that we have several things that we've got laid out for our AI Circle presentations, and
Mhm.
that's definitely on the list. I'm pretty sure. If it's not, I will definitely be adding it after today's meeting. So very good question, and the questions here are going to also help us with answering in more details on later broadcast live
Talking
streams.
about which, what we didn't mention is that there is some very important
Yes.
surveys for people to do.
Please fill out these surveys, even if you're not interested, because you can give us that feedback and that information. So please fill out those community and contributor surveys. The contributor one is if you've done any work and you want to help with our community circle, that would be great.
The two links are also in the chat for anyone that wants to just click on them as well.
Yes.
We'll leave it up there for a few more minutes whilst we carry on, I think, and people can scan them if they want to.
We've got two more AI questions. I do want to hear from Jhin what his project is as well. So let's do the questions and then take on Jhin. Will MCP-LLM friendly UI UX become the next big trend? Maybe, probably, right? Totally.
We also have, I mean, we even have already different variety of tools in the market. Like right now, these tools are widely used by, let's say, engineers and people who has developer knowledge, but there are some open source agent workflow builders, like, for example, I know some like SimStudio and others, they just like release that helps your product manager to do this for you too. Then connect these agents and so on. Like it's entire everywhere is just like boiling with like new products and stuff. That's why I'm saying like for sure there will be something, but we will see how it goes.
That may actually be the lead into Jin's project, actually.
I was gonna say, what does Jhin think about this? Like,
Yeah, honestly, for that, I don't have too much opinion on it. It's a UI UX area, but when you see like the Figma MCP trend, how it's going, that might be also related to this. So how you can, I mean, leverage those kind of MCP to create better UI UX. I don't know, but yeah, it's really broad. I think the topic it is here, but yeah,
it's like, please predict the future.
Well, I was thinking this would be a good place to talk about the MCP Dart package that he's created.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can take the stage in.
Okay,
And then we'll take a couple more questions after that.
And just to make a note, where he's talking about the MCP_Dart package, there is another one that's Dart_MCP. But Jen is talking about his package, MCP_Dart.
They should rename the two of them to Colossus and Guardian, but that would date me into a joke.
I wish you to remove _Dart. Actually, it should be just MCP package. Actually,
yes, there you go.
It's already booked by someone, so I couldn't take it. So, am I sharing my screen?
Yes, we'll bring up the stage now.
There you go.
All right. So today I can just show you a little bit of demo and then quick intro. So I've been working on the MCP Dart, the plugin, the package. So this is the one of the MCP project quite early. So if you search just MCP, you see this is the first one, Richard. So basically what it does is just creating the MCP. It's the MCP SDK. So it allows you to create the MCP server or client using Dart language. So when I start working on this, it was pretty fast actually. I prototyped the protocol from the model contact protocol website. If you go there, the spec page. So I just reading through this, and then I was able to create really quick prototype. Like, I mean, around half a day. I already had the MCP server with the tools that's working, but if the protocol itself is not that small, so I want to support every features. So what I did is I used the Gemini, and then I put the code of, let's say, the MCP, just the official SDK from the Anthropic, which is TypeScript-based SDK. So what I did, I just gave whole code base to the Gemini, and then I started the typing like I want to convert the transport layer into Dart, for example. I've been using this Gemini 2.5 to create actually all the code. So, I mean, I would say, let's say more than 70% of code base, all this code base is actually generated. So let's say I'm supporting the full spec with the MCP Dart package, but yeah, most of code base are generated. The documentation as well is generated. So README is generated, and then thanks to the AI help, I was able to publish it to PubDev. Actually, it was my first package, and it was really straightforward to release all this. Yeah, so basically to create the MCP server is fairly easy with the Dart language. So you just initialize the server, you just add the tool, meaning that you're gonna register the calculator tool, and you give the input schema, what kind of input you're expecting. once the server is getting called from the client, this callback will record, and then it will return the result. And that's about it. So MCP has two different protocols. One is the, let's say, in transport. One is HTTP based. So this is useful for the remote server, remote MCP server. And there's another one is STDIO, right? Yeah, STDIO protocol. So if you just want to run on your local machine for your MCP server, then this will just use the STDIO, the communication. So you just type the JSON, and then it just return back the JSON. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And probably I want to show you a little demo what I did. Of course, I created the demo application with it. So even this application is generated with AI, Gemini 2.5. And it took like 2 hours to create whole this application. I had the setting page, and then I can register the MCP servers. I click the plus button, and then I put the server name, command, argument, and so on. So this might be one example I just created before this show. So if you see this, I'm just using the Dart command. I am just starting the time code that I generated. So what I can say, then yeah, it gives me the time. So what it does is actually, not this one. In the exam folder, the time. So I have this, the MCP server that just get the time and they're just returning it. So by the demo application, when I prompt this, then it asks to the AI, and with the output, the format, which is actually nothing. So the AI already know all the tools available. So it will create the input format, and it will call the function, which is MCP. And once it receives that, and I give it back to the AI to give me the best the format for the user. So I can give you another example. So let's say I'm going to disable the time MCP, playwright. I'm going to enable playwright and then GitHub. What I can do now is that find repo and open it in a browser. You can see that it's thinking. So it's first thing he does is search repository on GitHub using the GitHub MCP. He found it. So he found this one. Actually, he didn't open it up, but then it opened up in the using the playwright, the MCP, it opened up in the browser. So those kind of things possible if you use the MCP. So yeah, I mean this is the demo application I created, but most of your IDE might support those kind of features. So for example, root code, it has the MCP server, the feature. So you can ask root code to use the MCP. So you can do the same thing with the asking time or opening up the browser and or all different agent the behavior. Yeah, that's it for my demo.
It's all back on stage.
So, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
so let me ask a couple questions here. So MCP lets me define new tools that my LLM can access if it so desires, if it sort of works out that that's a tool, good thing it wants to do. And so the things that can host MCP right now, the things that are clients of MCP include things like Claude and Rucode and I think Perplexity and a few of the other ones. where you can say, here's a list of my MCP servers. What that says is then here's a bunch of tools that you now have that you didn't have before. And the way to go talk to them is this little mapping that's in the middle. That's still in the client side. But what you've done with your Dart package is most of those were being written in Python or TypeScript as kind of the two most popular languages for writing the things these are talking to become MCPs. Exactly. You made it possible that I can write that in Dart as the glue language so that my Dart can do whatever it wants to do. When the tool XYZ foo is requested, my Dart code will fire up and do something, and it can be anything. Anything Dart can do, which is everything because it's general purpose language, can then execute and return results in a format that the LLM can do further processing with it. Is that a good way of describing that?
Yeah, exactly. One good benefit of using Dart is that we can natively compile it. So I don't know if you already try to use the Node.js based the MCP server or Python based MCP server. You need to install Node.js or NPX or UV or all different dependencies you have to install on your machine, right? But if you build MCP server with Dart language, you can actually compile it. So you can just compile to the Windows executable binary or Linux version or macOS version. You just release the binary, then anyone actually just can use it. That's one of the biggest benefit I find it with Dart language with MCP.
And if I also understand, there's also code in the package to become an MCP client, which means that you can have Dart code that actually uses an MCP server written in whatever language it is, using that same protocol as a remote procedure call protocol.
Yeah. In my demo application, actually, I connected Playwright MCP, and I connected to the GitHub MCP. Those are Node.js based. And I have another MCP connected, that one is Python based. But I had to install all the Python and Node.js dependencies on my Mac. But yes, I mean, thanks to the protocol, it's standard now. So you can connect whatever the tool, the support that protocol. That's it.
Cool. Well, that's bringing us quite a bit forward. That's great. So, I mean, because I now know only the amount of TypeScript that comes out of an LLM. I still don't know TypeScript. So I'm very happy to be programming in a language I'm familiar with if I want to build more local sophistication. Like if I'm discovering that there's no good local rag, where I pointed at a tree of files and it returns back some bundle that can be processed. I can write one of those in Dart to do exactly what I want it to do and return the right kind of markdown that I want to return. And I could do that all in Dart and not have to jump to TypeScript or Python or get assistance to do that, which luckily LLM seem to know a lot about TypeScript and Python, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, so
I like the idea of doing it in Dart.
Yes, Dart's a handy language. We like Dart for that stuff. We have a couple more questions here. Let's take this question here. So would you say MCPs are like the orchestrators in a microservices architecture?
I would say each MCP server is microservice, kind of.
Yeah.
And then the MCP client is actually orchestrating it. If you want to make it same.
So it's like I'm chatting with Gemini. Gemini decides to use the tool X and the tool Y and the tool Z. Yeah. Okay.
What'd you say, Danielle?
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, now I'm just thinking. Worker would be the LLM here. Orchestrator would be, like Jhin mentioned, MCP, and the microservices would be like APIs. And MCP would be like a working memory that like LLM gets the LLM to take smarter contextual actions, like whether in code, UI logic.
Yep.
Actually, even the AI client application, there's a concept of orchestrating the function calls, right? So that is actually the AI host, the chat app, It's actually orchestrating different the functions, but the functions are each MCP server. So actually, we can explain that way.
Here's another question aimed pretty much at Jhin here. I'm currently working on a feature using OpenAI as function calling. Is it possible to implement this feature using this MCP package?
I don't see any reason we cannot do that because OpenAI also supports function calling. So whatever the AI SDK support function calling, we can integrate it. Even the SDK doesn't support it, you can do the prompt engineering. I think the function call is basically prompt engineering in behind, right? So probably it might be shaky, but any AI model, I mean LLM model, you can make it support MCP.
Okay, and one more AI question before we get done with all these, I guess, or so other people put AI questions in. How do we make a visual interpretation of an AI agent in a Flutter app? Like the agent is automatically feeling a form from the user? Feeling? That seems a little weird.
Filling a form.
Filling
a form.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just no, unless we're really into emotions and feelings already. I don't think we're quite there yet. I'm not feeling any.
like sequence animations, like delayed state, and it's just like builds it on, like then just like writes your stuff there. Then you would give a feeling of agent presence here, like a little assistant helping, like a magic tool erasing, magic tool editing, with the animations, like sequence animations, Rive for sure, visualizing, typing, clicking.
Right. I've also noticed that with the LLMs, if I need diagrams, if I'm like trying to understand the architecture of something, I've just asked it, give me a mermaid diagram. It knows what mermaid is, and it can draw things all night and day. There's always
I loved that.
Stuff. Yes, it's so cool. It's so cool.
That was so awesome. And we'll be showing that. We'll be showing that when we're doing our Flutter Community AI Circle, FCAIC.
So you could say, present it with an unknown code base. You could say, figure out the architecture for this, draw a mermaid diagram, and put that in architecture.md. And now you have a file you can just visit directly, and there's the picture of the architecture of the thing you didn't write, but you're now forced to program with. It is way cool.
Actually,
it is totally cool.
That gave me an idea, actually. So we have a bunch of deprecated Lucidchart-based diagrams, and we cannot use Lucidchart anymore, I mean, at my project. But I can just easily convert it to mermaid using the AI. Probably I can just screenshot and give it to the Gemini. I think you will be able to create it.
Yeah, it should be able to. And also the great thing is that the READMEs on GitHub process mermaid, so you can have that as part of your core documentation that you for your GitHub project, and it's pretty diagrams. Very cool. How cool is that? Let me keep going here. Let's see. Oh, well, this is are there any MCP servers you're using to help your workflow? GitHub MCP. What else is out there? Oh my God, I've got like 15 right now in root.
File system MCP, like a super easy one.
Yeah. We could do a whole hour or two on favorite MCP servers and where to get them and how quickly they can be installed.
And that's the tool list that we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
No,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like the GitHub one that Jhin just used. That's a great one. Yeah, here's one of the greatest places to go get a bunch. I've got a few more bookmarks too. I'll bring up if I can when I stop talking.
I am dropping one comment there, which is like MCP market also has tons of MCPs that are related to Flutter or not, and you can see tons of this stuff. I just leave it as a comment. You can check there too.
But when you use MCP servers, I think you need to be careful with it because for security aspect, it's not so great. So I encourage you to use STDIO-based MCP only at the moment. Don't use the remote-based MCP, probably.
Yes. But almost all of them have a local version, so it's working out pretty nice. And even the ones that do remote, like the Brave web search, which I've been using quite a bit, that and the RAG web search, which uses DuckDuckGo, they're all running locally in under NPM, and then they're going to get things with my API key if necessary. So it's not contacting a remote server and trusting that connection and giving you all the context and getting all the data back that way. So they are essentially running local. They're running STDIN protocol locally. Yeah. Let's see what else we got for questions here. AI related questions. So we did this one. Here's another one. What's the best environment setup to leverage AI in Flutter applications with a large code base? Use Gemini. million token context definitely helps.
Okay, you need to clarify, because if so, a million token, that you're talking about Flash,
Yes.
not Pro 2.5.
Both.
Both of them have a
million.
million. Both are a million. Almost everything that says Gemini now is a million.
Well, I'm looking at it from the rate limit side, so for free side, right? Because there are people out there, and it was something that we were going to talk about, but I crossed it off the list just because I'm trying to be respectful of the Humpday time. We will be discussing it on the first AI live stream.
Yes. Which specific model to choose, because there's so many to choose.
Yeah.
Yes.
For now, I will put the link for seeing the Gemini free models in the chat.
There's this here on the list on screen as well.
Yes,
but with respect to the question, what you want is a model with large input tokens, 1 million tokens.
Yeah.
Because then you can put your entire code base, pretty much, unless you got something huge, all inside the context, which means you can answer questions about the whole code base at once. But
at the end, what you need to do is you need to split the code bases. So still, it's essential to where architecture code is structured, I would say, so that you can give the exact context you can give to the AI. Otherwise, if you can give the whole the code bases, but I think it's just wasting your tokens at the end. And using the more token is more cost, right? So I think you need to optimize it at some point yourself. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
okay.
As we are wrapping things up, if there, Simon, can you bring back up the QR code and so for those who've joined or been here and haven't done it, please fill out our Flutter Community AI Circle surveys. This will help us help you, because that's what we want to do as part of this community circle. We also are looking for contributors, so fill those out. And even if you're not interested, we still want to know that, just so we know how the community is feeling. We also have in the Flutter forum, we have a new category that we have for AI. So go there, ask questions, and then there's also so we're trying to keep things centralized. So when I mentioned at the very beginning where we're talking about working on a website, so we're going to have a website so we can centrally locate information, and that's where the contributor side is. If you're out there and you're creating things and you want to share with the community and be able to get the word out, please fill that out, share those with us, so then we can add that to the website that we have, and then help people be able to go to a central location for that. And that's also why we used the Flutter forum on It's All Widgets, So things are centrally located, because we know that there's a whole bunch of different places where people can go and ask questions, but this is helping us centrally locate that. So please use those. I appreciate that.
Do we have any more AI
Right.
questions? I'm trying to look here. No,
Well,
no more AI questions.
Either way, my hour's up. I'm turning into a pumpkin now. So
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Danielle.
thanks.
Same here.
See you all next week.
See you next week.
Thanks, Danielle.
So do we want to wrap up any
John,
AI?
is that the same for you as well?
Yep. Yeah, I've got to jump for some meetings. So
Well, thank you for joining us.
next week. Yep. Thanks.
We're losing them all one by one. Probably Ezra too, right? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm looking
Okay,
around the room going,
Yeah.
your minutes are numbered.
I can hang out for a little bit.
For today.
Thanks for coming by, Ezra, and giving your short talk. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Bye for now.
See you on the live stream. But I'm not doing it. Somebody's doing it.
I wasn't doing it either. As Ezra.
Oh.
Ezra's fun.
Yeah, you give us the control and we take ourselves off.
I know. Yes, they have their
Sorry,
own
I dropped
credentials.
something.
Hit themselves in the foot.
Jhin, if you need to leave at any point, just saying, you can hop off. Otherwise, we're just really going to carry on.
Answer questions. You can
So
do like
now
I
we're
do
gonna
every
go
week. Answer questions.
So
Now they're going to
I want to thank you
It's
for
minimal.
coming. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Welcome to Humpday.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's take them in the order. Wait, let's see. Any new ones? Oh, yeah. Oh, here. That's actually a Jhin question. As long as you're still here. Is it possible to take a look in Jim's MCP app? Well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Are they,
I think the demo
Well,
app, I think.
that's
Yeah,
on.
right?
Is the demo app the one that's on the examples for the package?
Yeah, it's open source actually. I can find the link and then I will let you know.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. And let's get rid of that. And let's see. Next one. Where
Flutter MCP AI chat. Is that the one?
Yeah, yes.
I'll pop that in the chat then.
Okay, we'll do the next question here. Where's the next question? Is TH? Oh, okay. Oh, duking
My bad.
links. That's okay. You want to put the link up, and then I can put the message back up. Or did you? Is enough? Doesn't matter.
It's in the
All
chat.
right.
You can find it.
All right. So, question. I tell you, I thought I got a full night's sleep. I'm now questioning any amount of sleep I got. All right. I use the THR translate package with X and showing on string method, but unable to translate the Flutter toast message without a context. Oh, the wonderful how to do things without a context question. Haven't we answered
We
that
answered
3 or 4
this last
times?
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we answer that last week? I mean,
So you could look.
we can address this a little bit more. I think I'll explain a little bit more about this architecture. Like, leave this one to one side. We do that as an example.
Okay, we'll
We
save
didn't
it.
really
for
get
our
to the
last-
answer, I don't think.
we danced around it a bit, I think is how it actually came out. Let's see here. Let's do the next one, which is how would you recommend it? Create a mobile video editor. What packages? Oh, you don't have enough CPU on your phone, sir. That's the big problem, right? Is
Don't
all
assume
the
it's a sir.
I'm saying sir in the generic sense.
Yeah, but look at it from
Okay.
our perspective.
Right. Well, I
Thank
mean
you.
inclusively. Yes.
Yes,
What pack? What should be taken into for UI and video manipulation? Yeah, I think you're gonna run out of CPU on your phones to do anything really useful. But
I think depending on
basically,
the package, but you need to find a package that supports GPU feature. So for example, Android have the encoder and decoder natively supported with hardware. So if you use those kind of packages that support native hardware, then it's technically possible. but I don't know which package it is because I haven't done.
I was just trying to dig it out. Actually, the one that I've used before, and it's in the chat. And I can also bring it up on the stream.
Something like
So
just
there's,
video or transcoder.
Yeah. So back in the day, I'll find where this whole thing came from. Hang on. Bear with. Lost my link. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Right. Let me bring this up on stream because I think people might find this interesting. Back in the day, this has always been a problem, right? Like to encode and decode video on mobile was just, it's expensive. As you want to take advantage of the hardware where you can. So there was a library that came out. So it's, oh, that's fine. Right. Called let's get this video. Yeah, this was it here. Right Presto's Android transcoder. This hasn't had any updates for a while, but it does still work. But this is what I was going to recommend. But this basically takes advantage of giving you like a simple transcoding interface over the hardware codecs that are inside Android. This is only Android. So there was another company, and this was bought out, but DeepMind basically they decided to take that and take it further. So this is the same system but further advanced. But this allows you to do like clipping, trimming, combining any thumbnails, changing all these other fun things, and that's all done on mobile with a nice simple API. But this is Kotlin, right? So you'd have to build yourself a little platform channel or something else to access it and control it. But it is simple. It's just adding like the dependency to your Kotlin code. So yeah, no, you can do it. It's not a problem. I'll post a link to this in the chat so people can find it. But yeah, all things are possible, as they say.
Oh, we got some more AI questions. How nice. Let me get to that. Let's see. Well, let's do them in order here. You can talk about Shorebird anytime soon. Well, it's just continuing. It's just happening.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about Shorebird when it comes up. Is there anything particularly you want to know about Shorebird?
I think it's that we haven't talked about it for at least 4 or 5 weeks. And people are confused.
There was a discussion about it on the Flutterista conference. There's actually a full-on section, a full session, blah, 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 a session on it.
Oh, okay, cool. So you can go back to Flutterista stuff. That's in this same channel that you're watching this on.
And there's
earlier.
Yeah, in the description, there are bookmarks.
Yeah, thank you for the bookmarks. And we can skip right to the parts that we're both.
But watch the whole thing. But if you,
yes, I meant that as a background.
Yeah. No, the more people, we want people to see that. There are some really great, and there are AI for people who are still here for AI stuff. There are AI presentations in the Flutterista conference as well. I did notice that Bahar, one of our presenters, has already filled out our contributor survey. So thank you very much. And yeah, so Shorebird, you can see that. That was just a few weeks ago.
Looking for code coverage for Dart Flutter. Tells me where I need to improve on my test coverage. A demo would be nice. So can we demonstrate cover today? We could do that, right?
I mean, we should be able to. I mean, it's just a package called coverage.
Yeah.
You just run it.
And you just go less than 100? Oh, more coverage.
Actually, I have a question about that. Actually, is there the VS Code extension that I can see the code coverage results in my code bases? Do you know?
Yeah, I have one.
I don't use VS Code, so I don't know.
I don't use VS Code either, except if I want to use root code.
Okay.
But then I copy and paste it. I copy and paste it into IntelliJ.
Yeah, I've been generating the HTML formats to see that, but it's kind of annoying. I want you to see my on my IDE, but you
can see code coverage, and there's an extension for VS Code that can show you that. Okay.
Yeah, but just in general, the idea of code coverage is useful. It's not always possible to hit 100% because there's like things that require like the right phase of the moon and the right wind direction. before it'll ever trigger, and you can't simulate the phase of the moon or the wind direction because you don't have control over the Earth. So,
Now
and if
it's
you
easier
do,
to
you
cover
don't need
with AI.
you have control of the Earth. You don't need co-coverage. All right, moving on. Yeah. Use AI. Just keep telling AI go until it's tested 100%. Right. Is it possible to build a Flutter app for Harmony? That's possible, right? Isn't it the same base, or doesn't have an embedder now? I can't remember.
I'm not sure if Harmony OS is Android. Is it Android based?
It was it was different somehow, but I can't remember all the details. If only we had some LLM we could ask this question. Then we would know the answer. But
Microkernel architecture, Arc UI, Arc compiler. Sounds to me like it's its own thing.
yeah,
It seems like Harmony OS can run Android app, but it's not Android. Probably it may work with Flutter.
I mean, here's the thing: if it runs an Android app, it should run it. So, for entertaining, try it, and that's nice.
Oh, so it has Android base and non-Android base too. Oh, interesting.
Right. So you can do the Android base, right? If you want to target a different platform, you still can do that, but that requires writing a custom shell. It is possible, but it's up to you.
And there's his follow-up.
Yeah, you can do that.
My question for the non-Android base. Well, who knows?
Check the Flutter engine source code.
We're not experts in that, apparently. This is not one of our areas. We can identify very clearly.
It is possible, and it's been done a couple of times in some other. I think which ones I looked at recently. However, it's not something you can just answer like that, right? Like you can look at how. The best thing I would suggest is go look at the Flutter engine source code. So it's in the main Flutter repository now, under I think it's the engine folder. And you'll find there's a shell folder with each of the shells. You can look at how those are actually being utilized and used, and add to the list of shells your own shell, basically. But it's not that simple. Don't get me wrong. It is complicated, but it is possible.
Another LLM question. How can we
before we do that, just
Oh,
very quickly, I just did a search on IntelliJ, and JetBrains has a plugin
MCP
for coverage. I haven't used it.
coverage.
It's there. And I'm still pulling it. And it said something. I lost it because I went to look at something else.
Oh no.
It's called Test Spark, all one word. So definitely, and it's like version 0.40.
Oh yeah, those are trustworthy.
It uses OpenAI. So you need some tokens for OpenAI or an AI system platform. Hugging Face is what it's got listed, but it currently says it's supporting Java and Kotlin. So
it's for generating unit tests, not for code.
Exactly. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted. So zip.
Yeah, it's all good. Use AI to generate tests. That'll work. That'll get you all the way there. Okay, this is one. Yes. How can we optimize Flutter UI so that AI models like LLMs can efficiently interpret and interact with them? Does that mean giving the Flutter from the other side?
It's kind of interesting that the question's even there. You shouldn't need to optimize anything.
Yeah.
Efficiently. I mean, if your app is efficient in terms of it has less widgets and it does things certain ways, then it's going to be interpreted efficiently. I don't think like there's any particular thing I'd suggest to this. I mean, the fact of the matter is, ideally, you'd have an MCP that connects to the analyzer, and then can give the LLM the information about the I said schema, not schema, but the structure of the software that you're building, your app, and that'll give it all the tree and everything else it needs.
Maybe the prompt feature of the MCP that might be useful, so that you can optimize the prompt in the MCP servers, and then when you prompt, it actually leverages the MCP server to have it optimized prompt somehow.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next one. I am planning to clean and architect one of my old Flutter code base, which is quite old and outdated, which probably means 3 years old. What AI tools do you suggest? Model editor and so on, I guess, for diving into this task. Anything that you're happy with in terms of AI, you can tell it to re-architect. We had that example in our little demo run where we gave the code the instruction change this to clean architecture, and it moved a whole bunch of files around. It was really pretty amazing how it could just do the right thing. When you have an agentic AI that can actually like rename files and update and modify things, there's quite a lot of leverage there. It's available because you have to trust it then that as it's whizzing by with things it's doing, it's not like rm-rf/ what? No, you gotta make sure it's not trying to ask for really dangerous stuff. So there's an element of trust in this, but that means make sure you have good backups when you're using AI, just in case the world goes sideways. I'm sure that's how Skynet got started. I know it's in here somewhere. I know it's in here somewhere. We're getting definitely close to Skynet. I can already tell.
Yep.
I just every day. That was the last one of the questions. So do we want to take on thing or what?
I mean, we could jump straight into anything we like, really. I guess some live coding, or and feel free to people to post your questions still. Like we've still got some time on the docket, as it says. We've actually done quite a lot this stream already, and it's gone quite quick so far. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah. Right, let me get set up.
So, is there a high whistle, or is it just me?
Somebody has their window open with birds.
Yeah, there's birds here. There's birds.
You're near bird.
Spring
you
evening
have a
time
bird
in the UK.
Turn down the bird filter. We're hearing it. Drop off.
Yeah. Right, let's see what's going on.
Why am I finding that so amusing? That is so great. All right.
Yes, Dash is singing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, let's go.
So Simon is getting set up for his usual live streaming, not chaotic, well organized, very focused coding session.
When is it chaotic? Right.
I think it's time for me to go. So
okay, Jen.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
I'm getting close to that too.
I hope you get good feedback on your project because it sounds like it's going to be the glue that fits in a lot of places for us, especially in the Flutter and Dart community. Yeah. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right.
See you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
I'm gonna send him away. There we go. All right.
Right. Let me
click.
Here. It's interesting. Right. Right. I'm running light mode, everyone, so prepare to be blinded.
Oh.
There you go. Hiss like a vampire. Right. Yeah. This is a different one, isn't it? So, what are we doing today? I mean, if anyone's got any coding suggestions, post them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll crack on with the example question. What was it? It was the localization one, right?
It's getting Flutter Toast, having a context for Flutter Toast.
Yeah, so we actually started this localization one last week. So we'll do this, and we'll carry on with this, and we'll just do the whole toast thing a bit more. So I think again, it's about where you're choosing to display your toast messages, and this is the sort of, it's always the thing I see people doing, which is that they send the context over to like the back end of the app and then try and utilize it from there. I mean, that's the wrong approach, right? Your UI is separate from your back. But your backend should not even know it's running on Flutter, essentially, if at all.
So can you
right?
explain what Toast is for people who don't know what it is?
So we also say snack. Toast is the old school way of saying snack bar, basically. It's just a notification that
Oh,
pops up to the
okay.
user.
Sorry.
So Toast is just like a notification that pops up to the user to tell them
Got
something's happened.
The snack bar.
Snack bar was the material design replacement for that. So we've got support here for English and Spanish, and we started adding in. Sorry, not right now. Yeah, sorry, too late. So regarding this, right? So let's get to the point, right? We had it popping up with a feed, didn't we, somewhere? Is this the one? This is the one, right? Oh yeah, you hit play and it pops up with feed started, and you hit pause, and then okay, sorry. When we hit the play button, it pops up with feed started, and feed repository is in the back end of the app. And right now, what we have it is we pass in the context to the start function. We actually never actually removed it. So this is one of the things I was trying to show not to do. So essentially, what we're doing is we're going to get rid of this. And at some point in the future, you want to say show started, right? Which needs to perform this function, right? So the correct way of doing this is we do something like message event. Let's call it message event. A message in it. Right. And then what we want to do is have a way of actually what the idea here is that we're sending these events to the front end of the app. So the simplest way of doing this right here in our example is we're just going to chuck it in here, but actually you might want to extract this out completely from the repository layer and just have a separate display message layer or something. But in this case, we could say events. Stream controller, broadcast, and we want a stream of message stream. Now what we can do, we can now say when we want to display a message, we're saying add message to that stream with whatever we want to display. I don't know. This could be a function actually. So the way you probably do this, in fact, we'll do this properly localizing it. So we want a function that returns a string and takes a bit of context. Like that. Call it a message, sure. So where was I? Yeah. And we're going to move this function to the front end. So that's how the back end looks, right? So we're saying here's a message event, and this is what the message that we're looking up based on context. This is how lambdas really help. And now we need to listen to this message event stream on the front end of our app. So we could do that in many places. We're going to choose, where the hell did I put that stream? Is the question. I'll stick it here on the home screen. So we'll do it in here. So we'll do a stream subscription or message event. We'll put it under message. So make sure you go to the feed dot message stream dot listen on message event. So the idea being that when we receive that event, we can show a snack bar, which is what we did before. And this context is going to be the home screen, right? Because that's where it is. And then the text that we're going to display will be the event message, so our context. And then on dispose, we want to cancel subscription. So what this is doing here is ensuring that stop, cancel. Yeah.
So the widget owns the stream. Am I following? Well,
so the stream is owned by the repository.
Okay.
But the subscription is managed by the front end UI, right? So the idea being that when the message event comes through from the back end, because it's been listened to by the front end owns the context, right? So it's getting the message.
The back end's just going, I'm announcing to anybody who cares that something broke here.
Yep.
Okay. And then you're setting up a message bus so that the front end can go, oh, I care, and I'm going to put up a snack bar.
Yeah. So you could even do, so what you do is kind of like a sort of normal sort of event bus system, but this message event could be a very particular like error event. And then you have like an error event listener widget that all its widget does this, right? It just sits in the UI. And whenever an error comes from the back end of your app, it can then display the error to the user, right? Now you could then also add to those event messages like a type or a screen or something else, which means that only certain screens listen to certain messages that get displayed, for example, right? Sorry, we're doing light mode today.
This is a test for Gen Z because we have both light mode and high-pitched noises happening in the background.
So, so let's try this and see what happens. We'll do a hot restart. Okay, it didn't crash, so that's a good sign. And then if I hit play, it still displays. Yeah. I mean, this issue is not this issue is probably the latest version of Dart for me, or something. Anyway, it's a weird internal issue when using desktop or something. I don't know. Anyway, probably not time. Right. So yeah. So I hope that answers the person's question. The idea being that you want to, the trick is that we're posting a lambda, right? A function that looks up the localization based on the context given, but the context is being given at the front end. So there's like a whole front end back end thing going on. It's quite clever. Hopefully that'll work. We'll post these as gists. I'll update. In fact, I can update the gist now. I'll change to Dart mode for those people that want it. Is any other code suggestions people have got interested in right now?
Yeah, nothing yet. So start typing away. Give us ideas for what you want us to solve. By us, I mean Simon, while I'm busily just chatting.
And I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
I may leave.
You
Because
still
I'm really contributing a lot here.
You still look like you should be breaking into a comedy set any moment now.
Yeah.
From all those times in the 90s when people were comedians in front of brick walls.
Yeah, it was the only one that could do a semi-smooth around my shape. I don't have a green screen. So.
Yeah. I don't either. I'm using, amazingly enough, the M1 chip in the Mac Pros are nice. Well, it should work. It should work then.
It's a little staticky, so
maybe need better light. Yeah,
a little more light.
I even have a light today. I have changed the light bulb, put another light in. See, if you look at my glasses, you can see the little circle.
Yeah, you need a lighter light. I don't know. I have no idea. I've got lights over this direction and over that direction. and that seems to be enough to work. Oh, and the occasional sun that shines right on my face right from that direction.
Yeah, my desk isn't shaped or in the position to. I could go sit outside. The sun is shining today, surprisingly.
We'd hear more birds then.
Yes, we would, especially in my backyard,
Right.
my
So
back garden.
hopefully that should be posted on the channel.
Someone just DM'd me wanting to huddle. What the heck? Why is my Slack even notifying me? Ugh. I do
That's
not
the
want
link.
to huddle now. Not in a huddle.
I was thinking about doing some custom scroll stuff, which people seem to like.
Yeah, it was that.
Somebody asked about a shopping app.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, we could do, but I'm not set up really to do that right now. I don't have it all checked out. I would spend like more of everyone's time doing that. Let's do. We were talking about doing like. Is that coming through?
There was a question that Curly posted and then deleted it. I'm not sure if that just means that Curly forgot to put the Q colon in front of it and was going to repost it. But it was actually a useful question. I can just go ahead and show it just to freak Curly out now. But I'm trying to use Flutter Gemma with a fine-tuned Gemma model. What's the file format for the fine-tuned model? I believe it's free text. I think it's just basically absorbing that. Like it absorbs everything. I don't know that there's specific tuning model. Maybe I have no idea. In my league. Imagine anybody else has a better answer. Oh, we have a queue. Queue. Where to go? How to keep the swipe back navigation gesture on iOS when using a custom nav transition.
Have you looked at the Cupertino transition? Because it does that already, right?
Right. So why is this a question then?
No, I think it's saying when you do a custom one, right? So if you're using a custom transition, so when you create a route, page route, for example, you get page route build or whatever, you can use a custom one. But Cupertino page route is the one that actually does it, has that behavior. Allow snapshotting.
I'm gonna drop.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, well, thank you for coming.
I may come back, but right now I have to leave. I'll be back.
Okay,
Or
no
I'll-
worries. No, the snippet's still here.
We'll be here.
Pardon?
Probably.
Looks like there's a Cupertino route transition mixing. So maybe go take a look at that. Yeah, so I think that's gonna offset. Yeah, delegate positioned animation, left wing. Maybe. Yeah, slide transition, and it's based on the delegate animation. So this is actually this delegated transition is actually the thing that's doing the movement of the screen. Swipe.
It's just related to Can Pop? No.
Yeah. Anyway. I don't think there's anything. I think you need to be using the new will pop scope stuff, right? You need to know if it can pop it. I don't think there's any. Yeah, or use precisely track back gesture drags. So there's a toggle for it. Ah, there you go. Look, secondary route animation.
Ooh. So you can override that.
So secondary route animation is being pushed onto them.
Yeah, it's kind of the how do we get buried transition.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I want to just go. Yes, just the second animation. Pop gesture in progress. Okay. It's true if back gesture, iOS style back swipe, or Android predicted back is currently underway for this route. Okay. So I think it's just using the animation, right? So in theory is that you should just be able to just use the animation in the custom. I mean, I don't see anything special in here. And this is just using the primary animation from the page route builder to drive the animation. So in your custom, who was asking? It was David. David, yeah. So when you generate your custom route, you do like a page route builder. And the problem is you've got a transition builder, and your transition builder is let's look here. So you want something like this, right? Where you've got a transition builder, and inside the transition builder, you want to put that with a Cupertino transition. Page transition. I can't remember what it was. Sorry. Page transition. There you go. And that should do it. It's as simple as that. So you can wrap whatever child widget you want, right? So your primary is going to be animation, and your secondary is secondary animation, and then your linear is going to be if your current route, so that'd be route.of, modal route. I've got to find it now. Modal route of context, and then pop gesture in progress, right? Yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, so if you go into the, I think it's over here, right? No, it was over here. Yeah, so it's just following the same thing that they're doing here anyway. Nice back gesture detector here, I guess. I mean, the other one is you could just extend these classes, right? So you could just extend which class is this for everything? It's just the Cupertino transition, Cupertino page route. Oh, there you go. It literally is the mixing I said use. There you go. Literally just add this mixing Cupertino route transition to your route, your custom route. So you're using page route builder. Yeah. So what you can do is instead of using page route builder, just make a page route, extend page route. And the page route parameters are the same as you have to implement the functions. Where are they? Here's you can no, that's the default one. It'll be here. It is in here, modal route. Anyway, when you well, I'll do it right now. Just do it right now. So just show you what you need to do. So just do class my route, whatever, extends page route. I've got no return value, so avoiding it. And this is going to ask me to implement like the missing functions. So these are just what you would supply inside your builder. So when you're originally doing your builder, it would have these, right? If you haven't got a barrier, don't worry about these. You can just set these to null. It's just used for when you've got like a dialogue. Right? So don't worry about those. And then your maintain state. I can't remember what the default is actually. Let's go take a look.
Didn't you want the mixing as
state
well?
True. Yeah, I'll get that in a second.
Okay.
Maintain state true. These ones you have to implement. The others are just overrides, right? So you can go look at the page route builder and see what it's doing. Just going to jot these down here. And then the transition duration obviously is whatever you want. We'll go with the default here. There's also the reverse transition duration, which might just go to the transition duration, so you don't need to override that. Same. Defining your builder is just instead of having originally you would have had your page builder, so you just now put the contents of your page builder in here. So this is like returning whatever your widget is, right? so scaffold or something, right? Whatever it is. That could be your custom widget, whatever it is. And then inside here, you say with Cupertino page route transition mixing. And let's see what else does it want. It wants us build content and title. There you go. So I'm guessing it implements build page as a way of wrapping it. So if I get rid of build page, I suspect it's done. Yeah, there you go. And then they expect you to have a title as well. So it can be nullable though, but I guess if this were displays in the system, like overlay or whatever. Yeah, so that's it really, right? So this is going to give you all the transition stuff for Cupertino, and you just put whatever widget you want here, and you just push this route in place of the page route builder. Does that make sense, David? I hope it does.
So,
right, cool.
Yep. We have another question, actually, which is cool. It has two parts. Just again, a bit of advice. If it takes more than one part to describe a question, it probably is a little too complex to do here. So come out to all the other places you might be able to go to get questions answered. But let's do this two-parter right here. The second part's kind of short. Right?
Just for people, you can always post gists on gist.new and just put the hash for the gist in the chat.
Yes. I have a screen with a horizontal list of cards on the top and some scrollable info. Changes depending on the selected card on the bottom. How can I implement a general scroll for both the card list and the info part when scrolling the last one? Probably scrolling the info part. So he wants to be able to probably either scroll the cards or scroll the info.
Can you go back to the first part?
Sure.
I have a screen with a horizontal list of cards on top and some scrollable info, or like vertically scrollable info underneath. And just depending on the selected card, sure, on the bottom. How can I implement a general scroll for both card list and the info part? I'm not sure I get exactly what you're asking for. It'd be good to get clarification. So, you know, there's a lot of ways of describing that, really.
Yeah. Helps with graphics. Hard to do in a Yahoo or a YouTube.
Scroll. But like the point here is like you're saying you want to scroll both at the same time.
Vertical scroll, yeah. So that's the body of the text. Do you want to be able to drag the body of the text to make the card change? That seems like it might be useful, I guess.
I'm still not quite getting what he's asking for. So I mean, like if you want the info and the card to move at the same time, but these are two separate scrolls. You've got a vertical scroll and a horizontal scroll. Like, how do you want to move at the same time? What is your expectation? Is it one list down the bottom that is for all cards? So as you scroll down the bottom list, change the card at the top. Is that what you're trying to do? So you got two sets of content that are linked together. I think I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah, well, he hasn't responded yet, so we can.
We'll go with that for now and see where we get to. If I can get this thing to compile, because apparently ADB just failed on me. Although that's working. 1 second. No connected devices.
And while you're doing that, let me plug. Or where's my window back here again? Here we go. Let me plug this. I finally published another YouTube video on Dart best practices for exceptions. And it was a fun little piece to write. So please go enjoy that.
This is going well.
One of my longer ones, actually, 17 minutes. Wow, it's a long time for me for one video. Oh, here he's adding Here, scroll the bottom part vertically and make the list of cards disappear. Oh, now he's asking for the sticky header, not sticky header, but like the collapsing header.
It's just it's just a nested scroll. That's straightforward. Okay. If I can get stuck there, we go. Scroll up the vertical list and make the list of cards disappear. Goes up. Yeah, I mean, like that's just ahead of like that's just. Surely you just want to put the list of cards at the top of the content for your scrolling list.
Right.
And you swipe left or right, you just change the content of the list below, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Am I not? I feel like this is simple. Like, is this?
Maybe it's only simple for us, and it's just someone who
No,
wants.
I realize that, but I'm also like, am I just really like understanding it wrong? You know,
Sure.
I don't want to be going down the wrong path. Can I use nested scroll view for this? It's not really nested scroll view is about having like one scroll to another. Yeah. I mean, you just don't need to. Let's see if we can get this to work, right? And then see where we get to.
Okay.
So, okay, so we've got this working now. So let's. I mean, if you just got a let's go home to here. Then we'll we'll just do do custom. So it's custom scroll view, and you get asked to fill slivers in. And the two slivers that you're probably missing are, so you have sliver. You got the new ones, haven't you? The new this persistent header.
Yeah,
I think it's the one. No, it's the old one. It's fine. Pinned. True. We're just going to hard code some things here. You need to read up how to actually implement these interfaces. I'm just going to quickly throw some stuff in just to make it work. I have like 200. Right, and then in here we'll just do a return material with a placeholder inside. And then this color will be theme. Okay. Right, let's pop that in here. And then underneath this, you want your sliver fill remaining. And inside that, you can do we don't need a chart, sorry. You want a scrolling list of content, right? So you actually want a sliver list. Inside a sliver list, your sliver builder delegate, the same as having a list view builder. Just item. Let's see, where are we? There. And then we want an item count. Let's just do 150. Right, that should be it. and it crashes. Oh yeah, that's my fault.
No.
We need. It's right. We just need to wrap our custom scroll thing with a material. Oh, don't we?
More material, man. More material.
It would be material or scroll in this case. It's because this is the top level, right? Like we haven't got any other part of the app.
Right. Okay.
So there you go. So there's our list with the header. Now this header, let's put something in here. Let's just put a make it more like what the person's doing. Let's see.
That's going to be your horizontal scroll cards, right? Or whatever.
Sure. Right. And let's wrap these in a card. Make it more visible. That didn't help, did it?
Where's your scroll?
Let's do margin. Right. So there's my page at the top. Oh, I did, didn't I? Get rid of that. So it scrolls on the top of the list.
Nice.
And I can do that. You can also do a thing where it's floating, right? So at the moment, just like it's at the top of the list, right? But you can do floating through. And then as soon as you scroll back down, it comes in the screen first, right?
Yeah, nice.
Up, it comes back in and then it keeps scrolling down.
So that's not changing the contents of the down below part based on the currently selected
Oh
content.
yeah, but I mean like that's just switching out. Look, I mean that's just a set state, right? So I mean like
yeah,
you can do that if you want. Like you could.
That's what they were asking for. So
I mean it depends on how they're doing it, really, right? But final items. And then do something like on page. So the delegate itself doesn't have a controller. If we want this header, we can do a custom header, which is probably what we actually need to do. So this is a status widget now. We say my app header. All right, let's do that. Let's pop that. My app header. It's a sliver because it's. Oh. There we go. Sliver my app header. And actually, I won't have it constant anyway, but that's fine. I'll back to that. What I'm trying to do here is say like something like on page changed. And then when we get that callback come back, we can then say load different content, for example, right? Whatever that might mean. So in this case, our init state is also going to do it. Have void loads content. Is that big enough for everyone? It's okay. And then inside here, we can just do me do? Sure. I mean, do it however you want. For however you want. Obviously, this is how we want to load your content, right? So we'll just make up some content based on the page. I mean, ideally, you could actually do, if you make this var, then it'll actually be better than what we would do. So I'm just going to make this async just to. So we do build our content. Contents. Generate 100, 1,000. So load content, when we start, we're going to load content 0. And then when our content here loads, we're going to say items length. And the text would be, oops. Why is that having a problem? Oh, I'm an idiot. I somehow got rid of that. I wasn't paying attention, obviously. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we just need a way of tracking the page change inside our header. So we'll change this to stateful. Have a controller, page controller. Obviously, you can pass it in. There's lots of ways of doing this. It's going to dispose of that page controller. It gets disposed of. We created it. And then when it gets set up, what we do is listen to that page. And so on page changed, right? So now what we need to do here is convert we need to get the page value, see if it's changed from the last time. If the page value changed from last time, then we can say it's a page change and we can call back. So here we'll say a final value changed int on page changed.
All right, 1 second. Hello, mate. How you doing? Yeah.
Right. On page changed. And then which we don't need to remove, but it makes sense. Now, yes, we need the last page. And then we'll round it. So it would jump at the halfway point. But if last page is not equal to new page, then last page is new page, and widget got one page changed, new page. Does that make sense to everyone? Hopefully it does. All right, so now we just need to make sure that that page controller has been used in that delegate. Wrong key. Apologies. Right. And then this will pass up to here. And okay, so after all of that, bit of boilerplate here. So the idea is we've got a custom header with a page change thing, and let's see what happens. This is not going to be that impressive by everyone's standards. So let me just let me try and make the text a little bit bigger. I think it's probably going to help.
We're coming up on the top of the hour, so if we want to wrap it up here, it's probably a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's probably good if it's why you know do change. Okay.
Yeah, I have one more minor question, which you can probably answer quickly.
Right. So hopefully everyone can see that on the left. So what's going to happen now when I swipe? Oh, there you go. It changed to page one.
Cool. That is so cool.
No, this is not the arrow for this, right? But there you go. So now if I'm on the phone here, I can swipe to page 2. I can scroll down. Oops. I can still swipe when it's halfway. Right.
Nice.
I mean, officially, you could still have a swipe like left and right for the entire thing, but then you would do that with a gesture detector around everything. And then you don't drive the page controller through your normal page view. Yeah, anyway, that's another thing.
Cool. Ship it.
Cool. Right. Give me a second. I'm going to post that. For those that are interested.
That was slick. New toys. New things to suck into my LLM. I'm just going to go through and add a rag that just reads all of your gists.
Do it. Tell me how it goes.
Source code. It'll have its own hallucinations. It'll be hallucinating Simons left and right.
Is that a good thing? I'm not so sure.
Simons code. We have a 1 through 4 Simons.
Have all these like it's just gonna keep answering your questions and you ask it not to. It's like,
right.
Right. Let's see. Post a gist. Yes, please. What we call this? It's like.
Oh, there. You got a thanks for this already. Look at that. It's even more than what I was looking for. Thank you. Of course.
Okay. Well, hopefully
we deliver. We deliver here on Humpday Q&A, AMA.
Humpday Q&A, AMA, ABC, DEF. This is
the farm version.
Sliver scrolling. Yeah. Join sliver scrolling. Oh, let's call it that. And it's 30th already. Where's the ego? Right. There's the link. Great. Public list.
And then one quick last question, which you've got that posted.
Okay, that code is in the chat.
All right. Quick last question. Oh, sorry. I made that go away. Yeah, I gotta start driving your drive.
I was going to bring up the link. That was the one. It's in the chat for anyone that wants it. So.
That's good. Yes. All right. So here's the question: can a hero widget be used for several widgets, about 12, and would it be smooth?
Can a hero widget for several widgets, about 12? You can do as many as you want. Oh, you mean like have 12 widgets all move in sequence?
That might be.
I mean, you can. I would wonder why. It sounds like a really bad idea. The whole idea of a hero widget is just take one widget and use that as a leaning point so that it feels like it transfers nicely from one place to another and it keeps the context. I can't imagine you wanted to animate 12 individual widgets all at the same time. There's no reason why you can't do that. I think maybe I'd say decide where you want your hero widget, because you can put your hero widget around a whole panel in your app of several widgets, right? And then inside the hero widget, you'll see that it's got what's called a, I think it's in-flight builder, flight builder. And that allows you to change the widget that actually, when it moves. So you can actually use some other animations, some other things in the panel as it moves, right? And it can have a transparent background. So you can do things maybe more, I don't know, more directed to your use cases, Richard. But I mean, you can. It wouldn't be any performance, shouldn't really make that much difference for that. There's also a package called Local Hero as well, which you might want to
make a gist and have us evaluate it next week. We could do that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that is it. What is the last question? So,
well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks everybody that was here earlier.
Hopefully, we'll be back to our normal scheduled organizations, and we'll be coming back here for more AI stuff in the coming weeks. Keep posted. Don't forget to subscribe.
Live on Monday. So we'll be
subscribe to get those notifications.
Channel.
So, all right. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Bye.